I'm here now with Laurence Skelly, the Minister for the Department of Economic Development. So firstly, I'd like to ask you, with the student fees now obviously being the change that happened to be enforced this year, what was your position on that? Were you for it?
No, I was against it actually, and at the time I did oppose it, and on the basis that I felt that investing in our youth was actually investing in our future, and that was my standard line with that. What you have to do with regards to politics is accept the decisions that's made by Tynwald and move on. So that decision was made. I didn't agree with it, but now you do have to move on, and that's where we are today.
Have you seen any benefits from it despite being opposed to it?
Well, it's still early to tell. However, the little information I've seen is that it hasn't actually impacted in terms of, and that was a fear I think many of us had, that this would be actually a negative. It would turn people away from not following their, their academic futures. However, what it does, I always have a look to see, well, what is the positives out of this? And for me, what it has done is it's actually allowed us to take a closer look at the vocational route, and the vocational route I think on the Isle of Man in the past has somewhat not been shall we say equal, and a few things that I've been directly involved with, and most recently this last year is with regards to manufacturing. We've managed to invest in manufacturing training and apprenticeships on the Isle of Man, and also what we've just done with regards to the nunnery to try and create opportunities in the e-business field. So those are areas that we have managed to focus some benefits, some support and resource towards.
Have you found there's been an increase or a decrease in the number of students actually going away now to university?
I really don't know that number. It would be really for the Department of Education to answer that, but I'm not aware of any significant change in numbers in relation to this policy change.
So with opening up vocationally on the island, has there been other openings to try and incorporate kind of students coming back to the Isle of Man once they've been away and been trained?
It is something that, quite frankly, I think we need to do more to not just encourage our students to actually, or what I regard as the Isle of Man alumni, but I do want to stay in touch, and you can actually be good ambassadors for the Isle of Man, and we see it over and over again, and particularly what I do with regards to economic development and the entire department. We get in touch with so many people globally, and so often we have a Manx diaspora at our fingertips, and they could be Isle of Man alumni. There's been a lot of work with PDMS with the development of the graduate website to become employed website, and I think there's more work to be done with regards to actually making contact with the Manx diaspora, including the Isle of Man alumni.
So what about this this IT university that you're talking about? Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yes, well, this is actually about really where education, economic development and jobs all sort of come together, and it's been a vision for quite some time, and what we have here is the private equity and business coming together with academics to actually try and realise what will be a postgraduate opportunity as well as job training, and what I want to see in this in terms of the potential future legacy will be the creation of what would be regarded as an incubator, accelerator, an innovation centre that would actually be born out of this, so as to create possible spin-outs and future benefits in this field.
But specifically for postgrads rather than undergraduates?
Well, it's it's for undergrads, but there is potential to do all sorts of academic opportunities beyond that, so as well as business training.
The Isle of Man College have been starting to work with the University of Chester and offering degree courses on the Isle of Man. Do you reckon there's a greater scope for that?
Indeed, yes. I mean, the partnership with Chester has grown, has flourished, and can do more. And we do have a whole raft of potential strategic partnerships that we could develop with regards to academia. We have there's one I know with regards to biomed, one of the sectors that's emerging on the Isle of Man with the University of Manchester, for example, which is renowned in this field. So yes, what we think is that there will be opportunities here for our young people, I think, and also for other industries to go forward.
Okay, and one last question. Would you seek to develop it in the separate entities or more as one, for example, the college, if the college were to open up all the courses themselves, or would it be better to open them up in the separate areas?
You mean at the nunnery as a separate entity?
Yes.
Yeah, I to be quite honest with you, it's an operation because it's privately funded, privately operated, but will have some sort of academia partnership. It's still to be determined how that working model will happen. What I do know is that our Department of Education and Children is working very closely with the principals of the nunnery to try and find a model that best suits the Isle of Man.